Empoweristas, it's Alex Worley, and my guest this week is Terry Briggs. He is a serial entrepreneur and the founder of Success Beyond Beauty, and the first ever guy that I've interviewed for the Empowerista series. So I'm so excited. Thanks for joining us on the couch.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, you've got big shoes to fill because we've had some amazing women in this series before. First guy, how's it feel?
Oh, it feels awesome. Super excited, super honored.
Awesome. Well, first of all, tell us, what is Success Beyond Beauty?
Absolutely, yes. Success Beyond Beauty is an organization I created to empower women. Our mission is to empower women to go beyond. So we have a group of creatives, makers, philanthropists, people who are influencers in their industry. And I wanted to create a platform for women to be able to empower one another, to have great lifestyle events, seminars, workshops, whatever we can do to just empower more women to, again, just to go beyond in their lives. No matter where they are in their life, no matter how successful they are, they're still able to come together here and just empower one another just to be better.
And you have an event coming up this weekend, which we'll dive into in a little bit. I'm going to be a panelist for it. I'm so excited. But first, I want to hear a little bit more about your story. There's a huge conversation going on right now about how important it is for men to be advocates for women. Emma Watson comes to mind. She's got her He for She campaign. I love that that's being talked about because it is important. In general, it's just important for people to support people because at the end of the day, we're all human, right?
Absolutely.
But I want to hear from you. What specifically has inspired you to be an advocate for women?
Absolutely. I got to say first, my mama.
Of course.
No, seriously. My mother had me when she was 16 years old. So we pretty much grew up together. When my mother had me, we lived in low-income housing. So I seen my mother struggle. I seen her fight. I seen her go through abusive relationships. I seen my mother still have a business when she was in the projects. Like, what mom has a business in the hood?
Wow.
My mom did.
Your
she
mom's
was an artist.
Amazing.
Super woman. So she had a business. She was an artist. She was painting on tractor trailers for extra money. She's creating all type of artistic things. I seen her hustle and grind. I seen her go through some stuff, So my mother and I, we've been close, right? And my mother now, she travels the country now. She does women empowerment. She advocates for women who's been sexually and domestically abused. She just launched a book. I was co-editor of her magazine, which was called We Sparkle, which was a women empowerment magazine. And then my wife, she has a women empowerment company that's part e-commerce and part, So it's kind of like in my DNA, and I love it. And like I told you earlier, it's always been my heart to make a difference in people's lives. And, what better, than women who are awesome, and to make our mark,
Well, that's a really good point. I think a lot of times when people have those role models of empowered women, they want that for all women. So you're empowering women in many different ways. First of all, your family, your mom, your wife, your daughters. Then, of course, you have this business where you're empowering women. And then you volunteer sometimes too, right? Like, for example, you were involved in the march.
Absolutely. The Women's March was the game changer for me because up until then, I was, of course, doing women empowerment. However, when I volunteered for that, I realized that I needed to advocate for women. So it went from just being, Terry doing women empowerment to no, man, I'm an advocate for women. I'm all about, women, because I found out there was so many things that they were going through. And I feel like I have a strong voice. So why not put my strong voice that I have to empower them, to advocate, to say, look, I'm for you. So then that's when I heard about the He for She, and I was already doing this before somebody said, hey, you need to check out Emma Watson, you need to check this out, I need to check this out. My heart was already in the game. I was 100% in, So yeah, the Women's March LA, I had a chance to work directly with the organizer, had a chance to talk to her, and she taught me a lot. One of the things I wanted to do is just kind of like not really, again, put my name out there and certain things. She said, Terry, if you really want to make an impact, she said, you personally have to get known. She said, if you say it's really not about you, she said, you getting known and doing PR and all these other things. She said, it's not that, you don't want to be on TV. She said, you can't make the difference you really want to if your voice is not being heard.
Yeah, you have to use your voice.
Right.
And ultimately, you are giving women a gift by using your voice and speaking up for them.
Yeah.
So can you give some advice to maybe a guy watching who wants to be an advocate for women, but maybe isn't as familiar with some of the issues that affect him directly or indirectly, or maybe the women in his life, and what he can do about it?
Yeah, I think just starting off, one of the things I hear all the time from my wife and from my friends is, Terry, just continue to listen. I think the empowerment happens, like, one thing we say in sales, right, is a lot of times when you try to go in and sell your perspective without listening first, then you miss the opportunities to connect and engage. So one of the things I'm learning, even still, is to really just listen, take the time to listen, hear their heart, find out what they want to do, what are their dreams, what are their goals. Don't feel like, oh, just because you're a man, you have all the answers. And just kind of start there. Start the conversation. Ask the questions. Do you feel empowered by me? Do I do a good job at, inspiring you? Or do I listen? Those hard questions, just to find out, are you really an empowering male in the women relationships that you have in your life? Or are you dominating in a way that maybe you haven't really realized that you are dominating because you feel like you are a male?
So a lot of it is self-reflection and having some self-awareness too, right?
Yes.
We were talking a little bit off camera about how everything starts with passion.
Yeah.
And a guy watching may not have the passion to maybe go to the march or volunteer for the march, but a lot of times it's about the little things, right? So maybe acknowledging that I may not be passionate about the march, but I am passionate about my sister, about my mom, about my daughter, whoever it is in your life, and just starting with the small things, right?
Correct.
So as you have been listening to more women, what are maybe some issues that you've heard that they're facing that you were maybe surprised about?
I can tell you one of the things that I think I found out and I'm sharing more of is, like, I love the movement of, like, girl boss and the boss babe. But one of the things I'm finding out is a lot of women are feeling less empowered if maybe they're not the girl boss of owning a business, or maybe they're not the boss babe. So what I found out in interviewing different women, and I had to do research, right? Went back to just like the original feminist movement, right? And the original women just wanting to be empowered. What I found out was when that whole movement started, it was women who were at-home wives and moms. And the thing was, they felt it was so much more that they had to offer, right? So they wanted the one thing, is the choice. That's what I focus on. So being an empowered woman is being able to make the choice. If I want to be the big and bad girl boss, or if I want to be the big and bad stay-at-home mom and be the best stay-at-home mom, I'll be the best wife. It doesn't matter as long as you feel that you have the choice. So that's what I've been sharing, because that's what I found out. And that has actually been uplifting a lot of women, because they're comparing themselves, with these women, I want a business or this. Well, maybe that's not your thing, but don't feel like you're less empowered.
I love that. I so agree. It's all about choice. For a long time, it was just wanting the choice to be able to be successful and be independent. And now that's becoming more of an option.
Right.
But we don't want to lose sight of the fact that everyone is so unique and
Yes.
an individual. And maybe you want success, and not to mention that everyone's definition of success is different.
Right.
But maybe you want to stay at home, and it's totally all about having options and making the choice that reflects you as an individual best. I
Absolutely.
love that.
And owning who you are is one thing that I even talk about in my upcoming book, is owning who you are. Loving and accepting and owning who you are. I was on the phone with a friend of mine for an hour yesterday, and one of the things she was talking about is, I'm trying to find me. Again, you're looking at what everybody else is doing, and on Instagram, it can become a bit deceiving. Ken Paves and I, we talked about that a little bit, because like Instagram is kind of so crazy, where we say, like, even back in high school, right? Everybody wanted to be popular. And now with social media, everybody still wants to do what? Be liked.
Yeah.
So the pressure we faced in high school was already crazy, but now with social media, even as an adult, it's like magnified. So now you're looking on social media, and you have to, sometimes I have to tell them, like, look, remember, everything you see on social media isn't real. Because guess what? Nobody goes on social media and says, man, I just lost my car today.
Right.
Nobody goes on social media and says, man, I just went through divorce. What we do on social media, we show the great things. So I have to remind women that what you see is not what you get all the time.
Yeah.
So own and accept where you are, own your truth, and accept and own that. So that's, for me, is like the biggest message in the conversation that I'm having, is to remind people what you see on social media is not 100% real.
And it's one more set of voices coming at you, telling you how you should live your life. I mean,
Exactly.
we already had them before social media, through the media, TV, film, our community, society, friends, family. You know, there are all these voices of telling you how you should live,
Right.
whether it's directly or indirectly, and now social media on top of it. And yeah, just people in general, I think, need more permission to just live how they want to live,
Right.
not how they should live.
Right.
So tell me about this event I'm going to be a part of this weekend.
Man, Glam for the Cure, hosted by Ken Paves. He's a super Hollywood hair icon, super humanitarian, warm soul, love him to pieces. You know, Ken Paves, he's done hair for all the big celebrities, Eva Longoria. You know, he's on the Oprah team for like 12 years. Jessica Simpson, they have a hairline together. And just all the big celebs. Victoria Beckham's one of his besties. He travels and just everybody. And you know, I reached out to his manager and said, "Hey, man, you know, let's do this thing." And he loved it. He said, "It's so funny because we did an interview together." And what he did, he talked to his female friends, and he said, "Hey, we know what about this guy who wants to do this women empowerment thing?" And he said the first thing they was like, "Well, what does he know? He's a man." But then she was like, "Well, what does he know?" You know, so it's like, okay, let's do this. You know, so we just came together and said, you know, Glam for the cure for not only bringing awareness to breast cancer, but the cure to so many things. You know, women's rights, women, you know, inequality, and all these different things. So it's going to be a day filled with, you know, free glam booths and lip bars and all these just glammy things. But then at 2:00, you know, we are going to have this amazing empowerment panel where we're going to empower women not only, you know, in their life, but in their business, and discovering who they are, and, you know, knowing how to overcome adversity, and, you know, all these different things. So of course I wanted the amazing Alex Worley there, the woman who inspired me.
I'm so excited. Oh, you're so sweet.
Absolutely. You know, wanted you to be there. I'm so glad that you're going to be there. And, you know, so we're going to have a great time, you know, so you'll not only leave glamored up and, you know, beautified, but you'll also leave, you know, more empowered and, you know, feeling good about yourself. And
so cool.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me the day, location, time, how they can get tickets.
Absolutely. If you go to our Instagram page at Success Beyond Beauty, there's a link in the bio. So it's like a long URL. So just kind of go
to the Instagram page.
Just go to the
Make it
Instagram
easy.
page at Success Beyond Beauty. But it's April 2nd, you know, this Sunday from 12 to 4. The empowerment panel is going to start at 2. And yeah, it's free, but you have to RSVP because there is limited space. And we're gonna have a good time. Some amazing sponsors, doing amazing product giveaways. My friend Jeffrey James, he has J2 Botanicals, it's an organic skincare line. He's gonna be there, he's on the panel. He's giving away 120 sets of his organic skincare line. You know, ColourPop, you know, they just blew our mind and sent us boxes of 150 products, you know, kits to give away to women. And it's going to be an amazing time. Jadora LaFleurs, they're one of our sponsors. The amazing floral arrangements in the hat box. I mean, we're just doing so many giveaways and just loving on women. That's what we want. Just want to just love on them.
I can't wait. Yay. Yeah, come join us. I'll be there. I'm super excited. And Terry, thank you so much for empowering women, for putting on this event, for asking me to be a part of it,
man, no,
and for coming
you.
in today and chatting.
No, thank you. This
really
means so much
it.
to me.
Yes, thank you. And let us know what your definition of empowerment is using #Empowerista. And be sure to show you some social media love.